Yes, graduates, welcome to Hard Talk Podcast with HTK. Fasten your seatbelts. Hey, users and subscribers, welcome back to another episode of Hard Talk with HTK. I'm going to try and keep this one short and to the point, but listen, some explosive things have been happening around the Adriana Young case. I will definitely update you on that. But before we get into this, let me explain something to you. Let me tell you something. You see, karma is not something to play with. No, it's not something to play with at all. You see, when you come and you mess with people and you interfere with people's lives and you having a good laugh about it on social media and think that all is cushy for you and everything is sitting pretty for you, that is when something unexpected will put you right back into your place and humble you. And this is exactly what has happened to Anngela with the two N's. The same Anngela that came out here mocking Sir Brian, mocking Amicia, and claiming that the Doubleday hotel owner should be compensated, and ridiculing that entire family in their time of grief. That same Anngela with the two N's. I'ma call her Anngela with the split ends. Pun intended. Yes, because them ends on that hair, it need cutting, boy. But anyway, recently, as in within the last couple of hours, Anngela has come out on her TikTok to explain that she is a victim of domestic abuse. Now, we're not celebrating that. No, not at all. Because on this platform, we're not petty Betty. We don't go tit for tat. And these kind of things can happen to anybody. Now, take a look.
This is my 2-day follow-up at the urgent care from the human bite surrounding. So I'm back. I am back with the at the urgent care because they wanted to see me back in 2 days in regards to my bite situation. It's looking better. So they just wanted to see to make sure that it's not infected. It is not infected. And that's why I'm here. God knows this would never, ever, ever happen to me again, ever. I'm going to make very sure that this don't happen. I owe that to myself, to God, and to the people who love me the most. All right? I'm going to do better. I'm going to take care of myself, and I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because nothing about this is nice. Nothing about this experience is good. And I hope and pray that no person would ever have to go through any of this, because it's not a good experience at all. Until you're in my shoes, you will never know what it feels like. Okay? And I don't wish this on anybody. I don't. I do not wish this, and I repeat, on no one. It is not right. It's not a great feeling. It's actually very hurtful.
So Anngela has come out on her TikTok and she has actually put up a GoFundMe for her situation. Yes, she has. Now remember, this is the same Anngela with the two N's that was raising money for Sir Brian Young, Amicia Young, in order for justice to be attained for Adriana. And she was doing so without the permission of the family. She was condemned by Hayley Comet for doing it and called out as a scammer and a thief, which is also a bit of dramatic irony. But I'm saying that she first did that GoFundMe. I don't know if money was paid into it. Does anyone know? Because we've not heard of money being handed over from that GoFundMe for the purpose of going to the family. Now she's raising funds again. And of course, her full name is there, but she has already shared this on her TikTok. I wouldn't normally post somebody's full name, but she has done so herself. Her name is actually Joyce George. She's claiming that she was abused and bitten on her right upper shoulder as a result of her injury. She had to go to an emergency room for treatment for her injury and placed on antibiotics. She got a tetanus vaccine on Saturday, the 19th of July. I'm assuming that's supposed to be 2025, so that's a typo. Her abuser, father, I'm assuming that's her abusive father. So the language here really needs fixing. Made a claim to the police department on Sunday, the 20th of July, 2025, that her 23-year-old son abused the abuser, which is a false statement against her son. She claims her son is completely innocent and never physically or verbally abused anyone. But her car was surrounded by 2 police officers and that herself and her son were detained on Sunday, the 20th of July, by the 2 officers. Then another domestic violence unit detective arrived on the scene at approximately 10:30 p.m. There were discussions going on for about another 30 minutes between the officers and myself and son, and who was asked periodically to step out of our car. They were asked to step out the car and questioned on the situation on the day prior. Then one last time they asked her son only to step out of the car. When she asked the officer, was her son being detained or arrested, the male officer responded no, which was a lie. They then took her son between the 2 police cars and pat him down, placed his hands behind his back, cuffed him and placed him in the police car and took him to jail. Her son is currently being held in the county jail in the States where they reside. The son is diagnosed with sickle cell anemia and no fluids or medication is provided to him while being held in jail. She's asking for donations to retrieve legal counsel, a lawyer, to represent her son. And she's thanking people in advance for their kindness and generosity. Oh gosh. Now I am sorry to hear about your son and what's happening to him. But you see Joyce, aka Anngela, aka Anngela with the split ends. When you harass people and make fun of their grief and you totally tarnish these parents during such a difficult and challenging time, did you not realize that whatever sins that you had could also fall on your generation? And your son is paying the price of the negative karma that you've put out in the atmosphere. I want you to really think on this spiritually, because I honestly think that karma couldn't be more swift, as Adriana's spirit is clearly not happy with you. And to think that you have got a son who is unwell and you are out here causing so much ruckus, so much trouble, is crazy to me. And it's a shame that it had to reach to this point where you are now on TikTok begging people. Yeah, man, you have to be careful of the energy that you put out here. Because when you are basically putting your demons out here, you don't realize that there are bigger demons coming back to attack you. This is how it works. I've seen this happen in the universe too many times to not execute wisdom, even at my weakest moments. So, let's set that aside. I'm just letting you know that this is what's going on with Anngela with the split ends. And I think it's time for us to go into this Hayley Comet situation with the Young family. I have been taking in a number of lives, a number of videos all over social media where people have been discussing the situation with Hayley Comet and how she has started to disappoint the people of Guyana. And I always pride myself on being extremely objective. I take a step back from other people's emotions and I look at things very analytically before I arrive at a conclusion. And I think it's also important to be fair to everybody that's involved. Now, my philosophy in life is simple. Once somebody has done something to help me in any way, shape, or form, I am not going to disrespect that individual, okay? Even if I don't agree with them, I'd rather go quiet, go still in the night, take myself away, than turn around and actually be disrespectful, ungrateful, or dismissive of an individual who has helped me to get from point A to point B. They may not have helped me to get from point A to point Z or Z, depending on which part of the world you're in, but they've helped me to get from point A to point B. And without that step, that first step, I could not have taken several other steps to get to where I needed to get to. So every little helps and it counts. I was not in agreement with Sir Brian's reaction to Hayley. I think it was extremely disrespectful. I think it was unwarranted that he had to deal with it like that on a live, especially considering that there is off-air communication between himself and Hayley. I think that could have been handled very differently, and it is a shame that it had to go there. However, do I think that Hayley's behavior provoked that response? Yes, I do. And I genuinely think that a time has come for there to be a real support network around people like Hayley Comet that advises her proactively rather than reactively. And this is what I don't appreciate about some of the followers of Hayley Comet, in that they react after things go wrong rather than identify when things are spiraling out of control and help her to pull back from situations. I hear her call certain names on her live, people who are very, very close to her. And surely you can see the telltale signs when things are getting out of hand. And it's a shame, really, because without those advisors, sometimes your objectivity can get skewed and you're no longer seeing the full picture. Instead, your heart is being worn on your sleeve. Now, when discussing anything to do with crime, anything to do with legal matters, you have got to be not just factual, but objective. And when you are subjective, it has to be with a good and worthy reason, a cause that's proven. Otherwise, it's really important that you remove your emotional attachment as much as possible, other than just your basic ethics and morality when it comes to right and wrong, okay? To get too tied up or too caught up in a case can make you seem subjective, and it also can pull you in too deep to the point where you're no longer focusing on the facts of a case, but now you are becoming caught up in the personal side of the affair. And this is what I advised Hayley the last time when I referred to her in a video and said that those of you who are Comets, you really need to tell her to back off of this family. Respect the boundaries that have been placed by the family. Not because you are helping someone means they are obligated to take every help that you offer. If they have asked you to leave them alone, respect it and leave them alone. Okay? Somebody came up claiming they didn't see what was wrong, blah, blah, blah. Let's not be imperialists here. Okay? Let's not be supremacists here. Not because you have got the platform with the power and the numbers and the followers and the ability means that you have to force yourself on anybody who does not want that involvement. You have got to respect anybody who says no more. And when you are not doing that, that's when it becomes a gray area and you cross over into what is considered harassment and cyberbullying. And for you Comets out there who insist on turning a blind eye to things like this, you are leading to Hayley's demise and you are not helping the situation at all. I'm not going to bash Hayley for the simple reason that I know she helped. And I know she went out on a limb to ensure that that family received funds, okay? And there's a whole thing about the transparency of the money and blah, blah, blah. But hello, Angie has come out and she has spoken and said that Hayley did send the money. Are we now questioning Angie too? Because she said she sent the money. What is confusing is who the money went to, right? So we're going to listen to a number of recent clips from a live that took place yesterday, and we're going to analyze it bit by bit.
And I will say that I don't want to go to war with anyone's parents, especially anyone who's lost a child, but I will not have 2.5 years of what I've worked towards destroyed. I promise you that. I will not have every single case I've covered for all these different parents and all of the cases coming in the future. I will not have that ruined by people who want to try and take apart my fucking reputation. So if it comes to it, I will leak everything, every single message, every single text, every single Facebook, every single everything. I will leak everything, every single message, every single text, every single Facebook, every single everything.
I will leak everything, every single message, every single text, every single Facebook, every single everything.
Where I was nice, I was kind, I was offering, I was considerate, and I got fuck all back every time. And then I would be going to my mods and being like, yeah, but they haven't even said thank you, like they're just being rude. And I would say every single time, they would be like, no, don't worry, it's just a different cultural thing. And I would go back in every single time with my helmet on going, okay, I'm going to do it again because I really want Adriana to have justice. I'm fucking fed up. The mum's just jumped in Fat's live because the Brian's told her to and just said, yeah, she did give us some money, but this and but that. No, but nothing. You needed money for a second autopsy. You needed 8,000, 6,000 came from my community. Just say thank you. Just show a bit of fucking gratitude. It's not asking for the whole world. But, she should have said, but Fat, you paid fucking nothing. But Fat, you came to my daughter's funeral and followed my husband round, sniffing his crotch all day, Fatter. But I was looking at you funny because I just wanted to mourn my daughter and you acted like a fucking lush. And Fatter, when you were literally grinding on the graves, that made me uncomfortable because my 11-year-old child was about to be buried. Like at this point, I may just take down every video I've ever done and just be done with it, just walk away from it entirely because I didn't get paid for any of them anyway, so it don't make any difference. I think if I took down every single video of Adriana, I'll lose about $8, but at least I'll be clear of it and just done. Like honestly, I'm just done. People have choices between justice and trying to keep Fatter happy, and you chose to keep Fatter happy, which then you're still on the wrong side of everything. And not once did anyone stand up for what was right. Not once did anyone say justice for Adriana. Well, I've got all these people on TikTok, let me just say justice for my daughter, and I'm fucking fed up of it. Like, do what you want. Do what you want. Even on the call, Amicia, like, baiting out Josh, the lawyer, the fucking people that are helping for you for free. Like, what do you want then? Have we got to a point where there's just been a payoff made and you want everyone to fuck off and walk away? Is that what we're up to? Where you're going to say stuff about Josh, you're going to say stuff about me because it'll be easier, right? Your husband's on live yesterday flashing the cash. Your house is being paid, everything's been done. Has it just been paid for? Paid for. It's all done now, yeah? All done. Money paid. All done. I'd just like to know who sat down and worked out how much her life was worth. I'll leave you that for 11 years.
So Fata and Sir Brian had a live last night, and what took place was that Amicia was also called in on the live, where a question was asked with regards to the funds that Hayley raised to find out if the funds were paid to Adriana Young's parents. Amicia made it clear that the money did not go to her directly. It went off to the legal team. It wasn't used for a second autopsy either. Other people were, I don't know if it was Fata or whoever else was on the live, was claiming that Hayley Comet was a scammer. To which Sir Brian remained absolutely mute, did not speak on it. This made Hayley hit the roof, and she said this.
When you're sat there in her box, all fucking camel toe, no fucking brains, you are there and she's called me a scammer and you're a big man. You keep saying, Sir Brian, you're a fucking big man. Where are you being a big man when it comes for justice for Adriana and you're still saying, I love my mum? Be a fucking big man. Fight for justice for your daughter. Or at least respect the people who are. $8,000 they needed for a second autopsy. What did you pay? Because I paid $6,000 from my community. What did you pay? Sat there with your wad of cash on live last night. Give it back to the people. Give it back to the same people. You want me to keep your name out of mouth? Pay back my community then. If you can't appreciate it and you can't say thank you and you can't unmute and say it wasn't a scam, she paid, pay them back. Fucking had enough of these people, these ungrateful fucking people. Sorry, darling.
Now, first of all, I also want you to note this comment that was made 8 hours ago by Hayley under this video that I found on TikTok, where she said she didn't mean it and that she was very angry. But I'm going to say this to you, Hayley. As a person who deals with true crime and often, shed some light on cases that otherwise people would not know about, people will trust you with their information, trust you to represent them, to speak their unsounded truths. And they will come to you in confidence sometimes when they're not comfortable speaking to authority figures. Because of the size of your platform and the fact that you have a far reach and a huge influence. And it is so disappointing to hear you utter these words that you would reveal text messages, voice notes, etc., things that were said in confidence to you. And you didn't just stop there, because you also did this.
And she used to be young, and she is Sir Brian's first cousin. So her married name, and I always promised I'd never, even when I've been called a scammer, I always said I'd never show the receipts because it had her full name on it.
Right.
So I've always said, no, I'll keep you safe. Her husband's in the military. I said I would never do that. So the reason I never paid Sir Brian or his wife, Rhonda, is because they're from Guyana. They don't have bank accounts. They only have the Cash App. And in the UK, we don't have Cash App. So it was getting to a point. I also did not pay it to Josh the lawyer. That's an absolute lie. And Amicia knows I didn't pay it to Josh the lawyer because Josh the lawyer never went to America. So he would have been no good to have the money. He also doesn't have bank account. So he was in Guyana with his new family. It was only Dexter Todd from the legal team that went to Guyana, and he was doing conferences, he was doing different things. And so it was like, okay, you need to get it to a family member. And then, well, I just found loads of documents now that she has bankruptcy and things through the court. I wonder if that's why I didn't put it out. I don't know. But obviously there is things in, I don't know. I just knew it was desperation. The donor had pulled out of the second autopsy, and they were panicking that they weren't going to be able to have one. I was on live. Within 30 minutes, my people raised $6,000. And then I tried to get it over loads of different times. I was going to pay a bank account, which was a Navy bank account of her husband, and it wouldn't go through. My bank wouldn't allow that big a payment. So I'm like, okay, we'll do it by PayPal, because it had to be there that day.
Yeah.
So I paid it in, and then everyone was going mad saying I was a scammer, and I kept saying I need to put the receipts out. I need to show people these receipts. Yeah. And they were saying you can't, it's got my full name on. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to take all this hate for months, right? When I don't do it. Like, I'm not putting out. Right. Which was just bizarre.
Now, I do recall that this person, and I'm not going to say who the person is, and I'm deliberately withholding that information, but those of you who are out there will put two and two together, who have been following the Adriana Young case. She's asked repeatedly not to have her identity exposed, her images out there, and you've now put out her full name. And guys, if you notice, I have deliberately taken out her first name. Okay, I've deliberately done it. I've muted it in every part where she said it, but you have put out Angie's full name, and this is now floating around out there on TikTok. I was not about to make the same mistake and disrespect Angie in that respect at all, because she has always stood in your corner. She's always defended you. So having done that, I do genuinely believe there is no return to this case where the family is concerned. I think you really and truly need to take this as a life lesson, that you overinvest. And before you Comets come on my page and say she doesn't overinvest, then what's this?
I'm looking for all those other creators that were having issues with Hayley Comet, please. All the ones that were having to make reports about her and finally try to do something about her harassment and her bullying and her targeting of people. I am one of those people that she's harassed, bullied and target and incited hate towards myself, where people have actually threatened my life. So I'm currently in the process of legal action and taking this to her police where she lives. And I've just done the Australian cybercrime report with the threat as well by a lady called Pamela that was made to me, that I should be put into a box, should be at my door putting me in a box. So basically threatened my life and threatened me with unaliving me, incited from Hayley's recent post that was just made. So where she's spreading the lies of what I've done to John's family and stuff, and all the other lies that she's constantly spread. In the past, I have had another threat in June last year where someone was going to come to my door and unalive me as well due to her lives and her constant abuse and harassment online. And I think the police finally need to do something about it. She's misrepresenting my character. Everything that she says is manipulated, and it is a lie, and it comes from stalkers and bullies that she's been talking to. And she's just trying to support and help with her ego, thinking she's got a big enough platform to basically spread what the bullies and stalkers have lied about me over the last year and a half. It also gives her some nice little content, doesn't it? A few new followers, a few more gifts given to her, make a little bit more money, you know, using my name and my fame to, you know, get herself some more plug on this platform by going live about me or making posts about me. So if you believe this woman, you are believing a liar and you are believing a bully and someone who harasses single mothers that they don't even know overseas. And she actually also created and used to have a hate group on Facebook about me in a fake profile. So you're believing a criminologist who stands for supporting and helping people, who's actually one of the biggest bullies and stalkers that there is out there, and supporting stalkers. So good on you and kudos to you if you're going to believe someone like that and not use your own intelligence. But yeah, I'm looking for all those other people that have had to go and try fight against Hayley Williams, because I'm not in the country, especially ones that actually is near where she lives and is in the UK, that you can help to support me to fight for my cause now against her.
So as you can see, there are several cases here, you know, where they have accused her of the same thing, putting too much in emotion to the point where she crosses boundaries and she hurts people who are either victims or alleged perpetrators without evidence. And just because you have a gut feeling, it doesn't mean that you turn the internet over on its head against somebody. And even so, there's a right and wrong way to do it. I genuinely think that when we go too far as bloggers or content creators, we do get these red flags, but it's how we respond to them, because any blogger can get too caught up in a case. I've done it. And I know when I've definitely gone to the edge and nearly over. And the internet, it gives you clues. It responds aggressively. It tells you it's too much. Stop. And if you don't stop at that point, it means that you genuinely don't care about the impact of the negativity on particularly those who are suffering as a result of the crimes committed. And I think that you do need to execute sensitivity. Yes, there's cultural differences that you really and truly have no knowledge of. And no matter how much you're told about what it's like to be Caribbean, you're not Caribbean, you're English. And you do not understand how we express ourselves, how we communicate. Because when I heard you speak like this in this next clip, I realized that you are truly out of your depth when it comes to understanding culturally how we are.
I'm locked up, they won't let me out, which means enticing other people to fight online. They won't let me out, I'm locked up, I don't wear no bra, I don't wear no bra, I'm locked up. Visitation no longer comes by, seems like they forgot about me.
Now, repeatedly, I've said to you that speaking on Sabrian and Fata's friendships and their communication, their relationship is none of your business. And I still insist on that. Yet you still keep revisiting it, talking about describing Fata's body parts and all of that. I think it's dreadful. Whether or not she wishes to expose her camel toe is not your business, right? You should not be commenting on things like that. This has nothing to do with justice for Adriana. You should not be speaking on whether or not there's flirting going on in Sabrian's personal life. It's not your business. It's got nothing to do with justice for Adriana. And when you do things like this, you put yourself in a very negative light and you cause the people of Guyana to step back severally. Remember, there are certain dynamics, and I really don't like talking about race with people who are not people of color. You better believe it. I don't like it. I don't like to talk about it because I don't think that it's my right to educate you. I think you need, in this day and age where technology is at your fingertips, books are in libraries, history has recorded things, that you have an onus on yourself to be, proactive when it comes to racism and go find out about it yourself. But look at the dynamics of colonization and recognize that you are from a culture that imposes their beliefs and rights on others. Not you specifically, I'm talking about the history. And when you come across as somebody who does not know how to slow your roll, or, shadow your brakes, as we say in Jamaica, shadow your brakes. When you are told or given the warning, it comes across as somebody who is extremely hierarchical, extremely arrogant, extremely domineering, and narcissistic. That's how it comes across. It doesn't come across as any other way. It feels as though because they are a third world country, you have gone out on a limb to help them. You expect them to almost be enslaved to the gratitude. And that is something that will evoke a deep sense of rebelliousness from our Caribbean people. We will tell you straight up to fuck off. Yeah, no matter how much you've done. And not everybody will rationalize it. That, and I'm being very blunt, sorry, make sure there are no kids around when I'm saying stuff like this, but I'm just saying not everybody is going to be pleasant about it or diplomatic about it, as I would be. And even I would have my limits, because you cannot expect persistent enslavement to gratitude to fly in the face of people that you've helped. Neither should you hang your assistance over the heads of those you've assisted for the rest of their life, as though you expect them to behave how you want them to behave. Now, when I listened to this part of the video,
what did you pay? Sat there with your wad of cash on live last night. Give it back to the people. Give it back to the same people. You want me to keep your name out of mouth? Pay back my community then. If you can't appreciate it and you can't say thank you and you can't unmute and say it wasn't a scam, she paid, pay them back. Fucking had enough of these people, these ungrateful fucking people. Sorry, darling.
It's clear to me that you are observing Sir Brian far too intensely. You are able to speak on how many times he's been live, the fact that he's showing money on his live, all of this. When you help people, and you know that the money has gotten to the family, you know that the money has been used for the lawyer or the autopsy, whichever you feel. You need to back off and not pay attention to what they do afterwards, because these services have already been delivered. We already have Dexter Todd, who is being paid. We already have a second autopsy. So every money that you've collected has been put to the use that it's supposed to be put to. Think about it. So if Sir Brian now has a wad of cash and he's flaunting that on his live, as much as it's distasteful, because I don't like that kind of behavior, full stop, it's still none of your business. It's none of your business, because this has nothing to do with justice for Adriana. You spoke later on in another video about how your behavior is impacting the case. And I'm going to play this.
Hey guys, so I just wanted to add a quick note onto the video that I did this morning. Now, when I say that I'm out, like I'm out of the case, like I'm not doing it for the moment, I mean for now, like I'm out for now. Like, I don't want people to think I'm giving up on Adriana. Adriana still needs justice, and I'm more than aware that the only reason the things that are happening right now are happening is because I got too close to the truth. I'm aware of that. Like, the only reason that people you were working with for justice are all of a sudden going live, on lives, making videos, trying to discredit you, but they ain't talking about the Doubleday Hotel owner, about the Jennifer Alleys, about the Carol, the Stephans, and all the people who are responsible, the PPP, the government, the police. They're not talking about any of those people. They're not making content about those people. They're just coming solely for the girl who tried to help the most. I'm aware of what's going on. Like, I'm not stupid at all. I see what is happening. But right now I'm saying the lines become blurred for me because I can't give from an empty cup. Like, I've got nothing left to give. Like, I'm like Ian Beale. Like, I've got nothing left. Like, honestly, that's how I feel at this point. It doesn't mean that I give up on Adriana. It doesn't mean like I'm not chasing justice for her. It doesn't mean behind the scenes I'm not checking for her every day to see what's happening for her. What it means is that for this current moment and this current second, me being involved in Adriana's case, it's become like a Hayley Comet show. It's not become about Adriana. It's become about money, scamming, horrific things. So right now I'm just saying, like, I'm working other cases. I'm doing other things. I'm still showing up every day for the families I am working with. I'm still going to have a good heart. I'm still going to be compassionate, empathetic, and all those things. I just, for now, realise that my mental health is also important in this. And right now, people don't have good intentions, and it's all at me. And I don't understand why. But don't think I'm stupid or that I'm not at some point going to be part of a massive justice for journeys for Adriana Young. I give up for now until things are more clear. That's what I'm doing. And if I never come back on it, I never come back on it. If I do, that's up to me as well. Like, people can say, oh, but you said you were leaving. You can say whatever you want. At the end of the day, there's one thing that matters. Adriana Young.
And this is the thing. You often say that you are going to pull away. You're not touching it anymore. You're not going to do it anymore. And then you come back and then you give a counteraction. So which is it? You're in it, you're not in it. What exactly are you about, Hayley? I have said to you that stay away from the personal stuff. Talk about the case. There's nothing stopping you from talking about the case. Stay out of their personal lives. You've already been told thank you. Turn around and keep it moving. And if something pops up that's of significance, then yes, definitely bring it to your platform. But don't make it look as though nobody can tell you when to hold back when you are causing damage. If you are not able to reflect, introspect, and see that this negative ripple that you are putting out there is not beneficial to justice for the child, then you are acting like a train wreck. And it's not okay. Not around the memory of this little girl. Right? Now, thank goodness you clearly saw how dreadful your behavior looked when it was online after the live, and you did some introspection and you came out with this.
Hi guys, so I want to just say something quickly, an apology of sorts, because yesterday I let my emotions get the better of me. I was upset, I was hurt, I was heartbroken. And so I do, when I'm like, literally, I'll have an ADHD rant, I'll be mad, I'll be upset. Sometimes it's warranted, and yesterday it was kind of warranted, but it's still not very becoming of me to rant and rave like I did. Like, that's not becoming of me. It's not what I want to be, and it's not who I want to be. Angie in this situation, Ange, the family member, particularly, has been very kind to me and has always gone above and beyond to clear my name in situations where she knew what's right was right and what's wrong was wrong. And I just wanted to state that because, you know, I felt so let down yesterday that I kind of just got in my feelings, and I don't like to be that person. And I know loads of you will be kind and say, no, you know, it was a bad time, but she didn't do that. You know, I have got a lot of time for her, and you know, it was just a lot yesterday, wasn't it? It was a lot. I felt doubly kicked in the nuts, if I had nuts, because obviously Brian sat with Fatta while she's calling me a scammer, not saying anything. Then the phone call with Amicia that Fatta did, that she put out on live, which obviously Amicia didn't even know she was being screen recorded, or that she was on a live. So I just think, well, I still feel like I've been unfairly treated in this situation. You know, you can't blame everyone for that, can you? It's just what it is.
Okay. And on that note, I really hope that you have learned from your behavior. But you've had many lessons, Hayley. And this is why now the internet is going to do what it does. You're going to be once again under the microscope, and people are going to make it their point of duty to expose you based on your previous deeds. They are going to continue with the cyberbullying, the cyber stalking, the cyber harassing, however you wish to put it. But in their minds, they consider it to be balancing the scale. They think that your behavior needs to be toned down considerably, and that you overinvest in cases. And based on the evidence I've seen out here, you definitely do overinvest. Now, this is a part of how you have become popular, your empathy. This is why a lot of the Comets love you, because you show empathy and you really put your heart into situations. But don't do so to your own detriment or the detriment of your family. The mere fact that you were going off effing and blinding and your child had to come and check and say, what's wrong? Why are you shouting? Shows that you are allowing this case to even enter into your household and affect your own children or child. Now, there are many things that could be said about that, but I'm not going to interfere in your family business. And this is how I know how to park my boundaries and mind my business. So how about you do the same, Hayley? Leave the Younge'S alone and focus on justice for Adriana. If you've made it this far into this video, please make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And if you are new to my channel, click that bell so that you are notified anytime I drop a video. Another reminder, I'll be going on holiday soon, guys. So listen, if I go quiet, it's not because I'm gone. It's because I'm enjoying life and stepping away from social media. In the meantime, big up your nice clean self. This is your girl, Head Teacher K.